We're back at you today with a complete front porch rebuild. We're going to be tearing this down and rebuilding it today for you guys, all in one video. This is going to be a fully step-by-step video. It's going to be instructional. You're going to learn how to completely build your own porch in just a few minutes. Obviously, we start with the demo. We realize this porch is completely hollow on the inside, which is not how it should be. So we're going to remove everything, haul it off to a dumpster down on site. We're going to get down to the existing footings. There is a footing and a slab here. We're going to be able to build on this. Now we notice the wood structure under the door is rotted out. So we remove the block. We remove the sheathing because water damage got to there. We're going to move the insulation. Some of the 2x4 studs are bad, so we're going to replace those as well. Then we're going to put new insulation, new 3/4 inch CDX sheathing, which is exterior grade plywood. Next, we're going to be putting our water and ice shield. This is what's going to be the protector. It wasn't on before. This is a rubberized membrane that protects it from water, ice, whatever it's used on roofs commonly. We put our AZAC kick plate under the door. All our material has been delivered. We have our 2 cubes of block, which we're going to be using just for the rough. We use type M mortar, sand, water, and acrylic fortifier. We do our rough layout. We do our 3-4-5 right triangle and our block square, and then we're off to the races. We prefer to block our entire porches in, start to finish. We get a lot of hate over this. Other people like to form and pour. Do whatever you like. We prefer to block our porches in. It's faster than for us. We can do it quicker. We can work on it same day. We can also fill the cells of the block entirely, which locks the block to each other. We never want to do this out of solid block because you can't fill them. It doesn't lock them. They're not as strong, number one. And number two, I would never turn a block on the side. That is the weakest part of the block. It is never recommended to do. Now we're blocked all the way up. We have 7 3/4 inch even rise on every single step. The reason we left these pavers in and are not caring about getting them dirty, it was always in the plan to remove those, removing the concrete in the front to get the right step height in the front as well. So nothing to be worried about. Now we're doing our Porch coating, and then we scratch coat our Porch coating, and we fill all the blocks solid with high strength concrete mix. It's going to take 21 bags in its entirety to fill this solid. We do every step as we go. We fill. Now this is just our rough look. A lot of people didn't understand this. We're getting stone delivered, and we're getting stone delivered to fill with and stone to face it with. So now we filled the entirety of the inside of the porch with 3/4 clean. We stayed down 8 inches. We're going to be putting concrete and rebar. It's time to do our stone. This is Dutch quality Kentucky blend limestone stone. We use water, type M mortar, sand, and acrylic fortifier. We do acrylic fortifier in the bucket of water. It's white. We leave it. We wet the back of the stone with that acrylic fortifier. We paint it on with a paintbrush, and that also bonds it and cleans it simultaneously. We do our corners first, then we run in between. We do running bond. This lays up like a tile or a brick. That's for this particular style. If it was stacked stone, we would have stacked all of the stone on top of each other and not made these configured joints. We want these joints, we want it to look this way. We don't want it to look randomized and stacked. That is a stacked joint, which has no joint at all. Also, we're laying it all the way to the bottom, and we butt our limestone up to it because we want our limestone to have joints just like our cultured stone has joints. We want everything to have joints. You take your time and you do it neatly because the joints will make the stone. This porch completely flows all the way around. We take our blower out. We blow all the remnants off. It is time to squeeze in our joints. We use a grout bag. We use the same type M mortar, sand, water, and acrylic fortifier. We run it through the bag, and we only wet the bag in the very beginning. We never wet because we don't want to add too much water. We mix so it's a consistency where it's not super wet and not too stiff. It's just right so it'll flow through the bag. We squeeze all of our joints in. We let them sit about an hour. We come back and we shape. In order to shape the joints, we use the back of the brush, our finger, and then we flip it over and use the front of the brush. We brush out the joints and we do the entire thing that way. Then when it's all done, we go back over it with a whitewash brush and knock off any snots and clean everything. Next, it's time for our limestone treads. We wet and scrub the entirety of all the areas where the limestone treads are doing with water that has acrylic fortifier in it, so it not only cleans, but it bonds as well. We do the top first. The top are 8-inch limestone with pitch running away from the house. The reason it's 8-inch limestone is we want that shelf on there to catch the rebar we're putting in and carry the slab. Then the rest are 12-inch limestone. Same thing, they pitched away from the home so it doesn't hold water. We then squeeze concrete or cement, which is type N mortar, sand, and water, in behind, and we float it out. Now we have all our rebar in, and it's time to pour our concrete and our new concrete landing. We're using 4,500 pound fiber mesh reinforced concrete. We get it down, we compact, we use our jitterbug, and we screed, and then we use our mag float, knock down any humps, bumps, and lumps, and we let it sit before we finish trowel. Then we smooth it out entirely, and we'll be ready to put on our sponge float. We go with a sponge float finish for traction. We want it rough. We don't want anybody to be able to slip on it. We need traction. We do the same on the concrete pad below that we do on the concrete top above. They want to match each other. We put our edge on and we rub it out. It's just so that the ends are rolled over. We don't want to show our edge in this particular porch because we're matching something else. We pull off the blue tape we had on, so we make sure our AZAC's clean, and this is our completed look. Railings are being fabricated and they will follow 28 days after curing, and thank you all for watching.